Welcome, welcome, welcome. We live and in effect. This is Dr. Hertz of the Hertz So Good broadcast, and we are in tune. Yes, yes. And we have Mr. Izzy Oak. Gonna bring him on real quick.
Hello.
Oh, you ain't ready yet. All right, no problem. But like I say, we're gonna be getting down, telling you what happened on that Monday night. I'm sure you heard about it. Yeah, the 8-0 Philadelphia Eagles. We got upset. We were upset. And even though we upset, we ain't mad about it. I tell you, I think it was a hard pill to swallow. I believe that was a game we could have won. Yep, I ain't gonna say we should have won, but we definitely could have won. And we didn't. So guess what? Back to the drawing board. Still hurts business. We're gonna make it happen. We're gonna get down with it and make it do what it do. Yeah. Well, let me know when you're ready, Mr. Izzy Oak. Just raise your hand up and I'll bring you on the line. Yep. So with that being said, we all saw the game. I tell you what, thought we was gonna pull it out. Had a lot of injuries. A lot of injuries took place, and now we're coming into this Sunday where we're gonna have to and go to Indianapolis and play the Colts, and we're gonna pull it out, and we're gonna make it happen. But maybe it was a good gut check. Some people said, "Hey, it's a good thing for us," and I believe it is. There's some things we want to discuss about what we feel like could have been done better. Uh, what part of the problem it is, and I'm gonna speak on what I say I feel the problem is. So I'm gonna talk. Well, I can tell you now. I feel part of the problem. You ready to come on, Mr. Izzy? You need a few more minutes. You talking? Let me bring you on. I might got something going on with my audio. Let me bring you on real quick. Yo, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay then. I don't know. My audio wasn't coming in. Can't hear it on the thing. I heard it through the headphone, but I couldn't hear it. But anyway, I want to tell you what I thought a lot of the problem was, and I said it last week. I think the coaching needs to be brought up, because one thing about it, I'll say, when they came in, Jalen was a young quarterback in the NFL. His coach was a young coach coming in, and a defensive coach. These are young coaches put in place, even though they have experience, but they're still young to being the head and the leaders. And what happens is, just like Jalen had to go and refine his talents, I think the coaches need to go and refine a lot of what they're doing. Because you hear a lot of people, those who play football before, talking about the defense isn't as aggressive as it needs to be. So with that being said, I think that is a big hallmark to what they need to work on. So I think his name is Jonathan Gannon. He's getting a lot of flack, a lot of heat from everybody, and he was getting it last year. But they're going to have to do better. Going to have a better performance. So, Mr. Izzy, what's your take on it? Because I know you're familiar with Davis guy, the big guy that's on the defensive line.
Well, from what I saw, the coaching needs to get a lot of personnel to for run stops. They're not schematically scheming up to stop the run first. And during the game, there was a lot of third and short. So that was a telltale sign the last 2 weeks that your run defense, you're not putting enough linemen up front. So unless they make a change, um, teams are not going to feel the need to get out of running the football on first and second down. So that is a big problem with Davis being hurt. They just signed a defensive tackle, so I think the issue is you need to put more defensive linemen who are to get to the run more than get to the pass with the edge rushers, because that's what they traded for, a defensive end to get to the quarterback. But getting to the quarterback to me is not the problem. I think the problem is stopping the run as far as the defense. And so stopping the run, coaching, and those are the two main things that I saw as part of the reason why you lost your first game of the season.
Okay. One thing I'm gonna say about that defensive end, It's good to get a defensive end to run him around the edges, around the ends to come on in and put pressure on the quarterback. But it doesn't do you any good if you don't send them. So if you get them, but you're not sending them, and I think they might have did blitz one time the whole game. They uh they only ran one time, I think, in the first quarter. So it's like the coaching has to take a responsibility, just like the quarterback has to take responsibility, the receivers. I think AJ Brown, it was evident for those who were watching. I mean, I'm sitting at home watching this, and I seen when he tweaked his ankle, and he never was the same after that first catch. And you could tell he wasn't himself. And so by the time they adjusted out of that, it was just untimely mistakes. There were missed calls. All of that's in football. But what I believe that we're saying is they have the talent. I believe that they are a talented football team. To be honest, to say man for man, if they're the best football team, man for man, I mean, if you went to quarterback, center, and everybody, offense and defense, I wouldn't say that they're best talented. But what I believe that they play good as a young team, and as a leader, Jalen Hurts has solidified it, and that's what I think will take them to the championship to win. But what the coaches have to do is get to the point where they begin to coach and play ball. Now I noticed that what's got Sirianni? Sirianni gets into the game so much, like he's wearing shirts, he's making comments, he is leaving from focusing on coaching and getting into like, hey man, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. You can't have that braggadocious spirit of what you're gonna do. You got to go out there and prove it. And I think his focus needs to be more serious about playing the game instead of calling out the other team. Wearing shirts to say this and that, making comments. I mean, come on. That may be for some guys on the team to do, but you're the coach. You need to be focusing on making sure that the right plays are called at the right time. And that's what you got to do. And this thing should be a breeze. And that's just my analysis. And I don't want to seem like, hey man, as long as they was winning, I ain't had nothing to say. No, we still saw those things. We talked about that behind the scenes, and not only that, other people saw these things. So right now, it's brought right to our face. Got that loss, so now we can talk about it. Now we can talk about what we need to clean up, because going to Indianapolis is going to be a game. Going to have another game coming after that. They're going to come with the run. Going to have another game coming after that, and then you're going to meet that same team, the Giants, twice. So you got your work, and then you got the Dallas Cowboys. You got your work cut. You got 5 games. It's going to be real tough. So guess what? Straighten up what you need to do. Get your head on straight, and go out there and win. That's all I'm going to say for right now. I'll turn it back over to Mr. Izzy, because I know he got a lot on his plate.
Yes, yes. Well, this is a this is just the situation that they're in. Their morale is down, but this is a good thing to do. There's so much you can learn from. You can learn what you can do better. Run the ball more earlier with your running back. Get other guys involved. AJ Brown having a great season, but when he got injured, Smith stepped up. He had a really good game from what I saw. But other receivers, as we've seen in the game, they a lot of people complain, well, why is he only focusing on one player? And the only opportunity that the other player got, he got a big catch. He dived to catch the ball when he didn't have to. He jumped up and he gets a fumble. And that was pretty much the highlight, with a low light of his performance. So what I'm gonna say is coaching, players, personnel, when you lose, this is something you can learn from. Either you could fix it or it's going to fix you. So the last 2 weeks we were in Houston, we seen that they were ran on, and Washington did it again. So I'm not going to mainly just look at the personnel. I'm going to look at the coaching. We're going to look at Gannon, offensive. For the defense, offense, we're going to look at Steichen. What is he going to do? Is he going to play more Sanders? Is he going to get other guys involved? You can't be a one-dimensional team where Jalen Hurts is the main running threat for your football team. That's not a winning formula. And Miles Sanders ran good in the second half, and Goddard he's on the IR. So let's just see what the coaches are going to do. This a lot of people want to put it on the players. I'm really looking at the coaches. So pretty much a disappointment, but at the end of the day, it's one game, and in any given Sunday, anybody can get beat, as we can see. So you live, you learn, and what are you going to do moving forward?
Yeah, that was any given Monday night game. Nobody else playing in the NFL but that team, and that's what a biggest upset we seen this year. But I'm gonna say this, and it's gonna go back. I've heard a lot of talk about the Quiz Watkins play, but let's be fair. Let's be fair. Quiz Watkins caught the ball downfield, big long downfield catch. He goes down to the ground. Now, just ask yourself this. They still had time. There's plenty of time on the clock. Downfield, he goes down, he catches the ball. I don't care if it's Quez Watkins or anybody else. If he's not touched, what do you want him to do? What do you want him to do? Do you want him to sit down on the ground? No. You only want him to do that if time is running out. And you need, that, and you got a timeout and you need a field goal. Other than that, you don't want that man to sit down. You want him to get up and run that ball. See, let's be honest. You want him to get up and run the ball because there's a chance he could go in or score or get more yards. But what happened was the ball got knocked out his hands when he did get up. And so hindsight, we say, well, it'd have been better if he stayed down. You never want a receiver in that position to stay down. So the best thing to do is say, yeah, you want him to get up, but you want him to be more careful with the ball. So let's just be honest. You can't really blame him because there's nobody who would have wanted him to sit on the ground when he hadn't been touched. You want him to get back up. What he did was he got back up. The guy come around, he swiped the ball, caused the fumble. Now let's look at Smith. Smith caught a ball on the end right about the 7-yard line. The guy comes around to tackle him. He spins around. He got the ball in one hand. The guy misses him. He goes in for a score. Had he hit that ball and caused the fumble, what would he say about Smith? Or you just could have just got tackled and went outside. So the hindsight, we're not being fair. We want you to put in the extra hustle. But when we see plays like this, it lets you know, okay, we just need to be more careful with the turnovers. The face mask penalty. That was missed. It wasn't called. So what are you going to do now? Go back and change the rules so that you can't call a play? There's nothing else you can do. But there was a lot of hurt bodies. I mean, you got about 6 guys that were hurt. And I still think we have enough personnel to still go to Indianapolis and win that game. It's just about coming together as a team, admit where your mistakes are, and going out there and execute.
Well, I believe mistakes do happen, and I am being unfair, but I'm only doing that to better the players. Meaning that when AJ Brown had an opportunity to catch that pass and it hit him in the hands, no one got upset because even though it was an interception, the reason no one got upset is because AJ Brown has gotten ample opportunities. The problem with other players is that there was a lot of complaints that you don't get a lot of opportunities. So what I'm saying is anyone could make a mistake, anyone could make a turnover, but you got just be cognitive, make the most of your opportunities. There were a lot of 3-and-outs by Jalen Hurts. There was regardless if it was his decision, the play calling, there were 3-and-outs. So I got to also give Washington credit. It wasn't that they were just everything was on a handbasket. Washington did stop the team. But what I'm saying to the other players is make the most out of your opportunities because with all the injuries, no more complaints about it's a one man show with AJ Brown and Jalen Hurts. He's the best running quarterback on the team. No. You got other players. You got running backs who haven't played. Gainwell hasn't been running. They have another guy, Trey Sermon, hasn't played all season long. So with these injuries, you got backup tight ends, and Big Jordan Davis is on the IR as well. Make the most out of your opportunity. If you say you're the best team, this is your chance to prove it. You drafted all these players, and the Kobe Dean, he hasn't even played. So I'm giving you criticism because I want to see you do better than what you've done. Yes, you were undefeated, so a lot of the criticism there was no need to keep nitpicking at it. But we're nitpicking at it now because it cost you. And football is a one game, it's a one game audition. So I think it's only suiting that if you want to see them win, now's the time to criticize. Unlike other people who criticize, you criticize when you were the most successful team. We're criticizing when this is the most turnovers you ever had all season long. This is the most injuries on the team you've had it all season long. This is the most three and outs you've had all season long. So that's why we're criticizing. Get better, do better for the second half of your season. So that's how I'm looking at it.
Yeah, I would ask you this, but I think you probably would know the answer. If when AJ missed that ball and it hit his hands off, of, it was deflected, hit his hands, and it was an interception. Was AJ hurt on that play?
Yeah,
Okay,
he was over there.
he was hurt. So you knew he was hurt, right?
Right.
Okay, so you knew he was hurt. I knew he was hurt, but the team didn't know he was hurt. He didn't even go up to contest the ball, and so you know when that play happened, AJ wouldn't be in himself. I think one of the other plays he comes around, it's a out, a short out about 7 or 8 yards up, and he falls down completely. He was injured from the first play of the game, but he tried to tough it out, and he couldn't do it. So if he doesn't try to continue to play while he's hurt, we would be saying, "Oh man, he's a tough guy, and he's known for being tough." But he was already hurt from the first play, and he never really did much after that. I think he caught one other good pass. So it's the reality of looking at when he first got hurt, he was hurt. Now looking back, the best thing he could have did was took himself out the game. That way, you wouldn't even have to worry about attempting to pass to him and him being hurt. So we can look at all these things and say, look, this what could have happened, would have happened, but they did happen. And it's up to the coaching to look at when you don't have the ball almost the first half and they're running on you, running on you, running on you. Well, it's kind of late to scheme defensive plays if you don't have them in your playbook. A lot of people, oh, he should have mixed it up, moved it around, run this, run that. I guarantee he can't run that if he haven't practiced that and trained the guys how to do that, and they don't know how to do all of those what they call them stunts and stuff. Just don't know how to do it. So, like I said, you got defensive ends. They're not even rushing the guys, so you're not going to put pressure on a quarterback. But with that being said, it's time to face your shortcomings. Get out there, play as a team, and start winning these games and do what you got to do. And one thing I would like for Jalen to stop saying is, stop saying, "Hey, I went 8-0 and I lost. I know what that's like." Okay, so what you did, you just proved it again, right? You proved that you could go eight and lose. See, your words have power. It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. You got to see yourself being a winner. You got to see yourself coming over. You got to see yourself overcoming. So that thing about, hey, I went up here and this happened. Well, then what do you think is gonna happen next time? You got to push through that, and if that's what you're feeling, you got to keep that to yourself and have encouragement. Because remember, just what he said, he won 8 games and he went to a championship and lost. So now you won 8 games and you went on the Monday night football game and you lost. Your your mind, so the mind says, so as a man thinketh, so is he. The mind is a powerful tool. What you speak into existence occur. Yes, you got to do the work, but you got to be positive in all aspects. I've said this when he was playing in college. What did I say? I said he's going to win the Super Bowl. I say he's going to win the Super Bowl. When powerful words go out, powerful results happen. So change the narrative, stop all of that cursing, because it really doesn't become you, and you don't really need to do that. You can express yourself without doing that. So get yourself together, have some positive thoughts, and go out there and win like you need to win.
Yes,
Come on.
well, that's simple. That's simple to say, and I get it. Yeah, work on it, Jalen. Get it together. But he knows better. So um,
ain't working with. He don't know the better. Nobody gonna say it. See,
Well, he
sometimes
doesn't.
somebody gotta say
He doesn't know, but he's waited. He's waited this long to be vocal as far as his mindset of I've been undefeated and I've lost.
no.
He,
Stop
his,
cursing. I heard him doing that cursing when he was losing. When he was winning. No, that's unbecoming of him.
this
He
is
can do
very
better.
new.
He can do better than that. I
He can
know.
do better.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Okay.
gonna
Well,
say.
okay. Well, hey, no problem.
So I want to see him do better. Because believe it or not, people listen to you very carefully. If you could you go out there proclaiming God is this and God is that in your life, and then you go up there using vulgar language like that, it's not a good reflection. So, you know, somebody needs to tell you that it's not a good reflection. Or they're gonna keep it in the locker room. Hello. How many other
Well,
quarterbacks you see them spotlighting them talking like that?
Brady.
Okay.
Brady does it.
Okay. That's one.
I mean, I don't. I'm not keeping a record right now.
So it's not normal, right?
Well, it is normal because Jalen
It's normal.
he
It's normal to have quarterbacks cursing and they show it on TV. Really?
yeah. It's normal to see them with getting mad, cursing. Yeah,
It's normal to see quarterbacks cursing in the locker room.
yeah. In the locker room, there's all type of cursing from
The
rap
quarterback.
music, all
The
kind of
quarterback.
stuff.
The quarterbacks.
Yeah, yeah. It is.
Say that with a straight face.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know better. I know.
Well, I mean, you know what you're trying to say. You're trying to say that because you're in the locker room, everyone's just having
Mm,
these scripted conversations.
nope.
I'm not going to agree to that. I'm not
Nope.
going to agree.
What I'm saying is I watch quarterbacks and I watch players. There are some players who talk and they have an air of vulgarity about them. But I'm saying when you watch football overall, and I watched a lot of it, you don't usually find a quarterback cursing and saying the things that Jaden have said. And I think it needs to be called out. And especially on this, you had one guy who I know of called himself a man of God. And who was that? Uh, Tim Tebow, right? I guarantee you can't find a film of him saying stuff like that. All I'm saying is the image you portray, be that what you are. Because if not, then you become a hypocrite. And if somebody doesn't say something, guess what? That doesn't mean that people don't know it. I guarantee you, I'm not the only one that says something about it. I'd just rather say something now as he goes on his career than for him to be up before the people, God in one mouth and filthy words coming out in the other. Come on, we got to do it all. Got to do it all. If you're gonna be that way, okay. If you say, "Hey, look, this way I talk," okay, then be that. But people don't know you for that. They don't know you for that, and that's not a good image. And it's just not an image that I think we need at this time. And I'm sure he doesn't have to talk like that.
Well, tell it to him. Tell it to his
I
mother.
am.
Tell it to him.
I am.
You should. You
I am.
should. Yeah, that's what
I
you
am.
should do.
That's what I'm
Yeah,
doing
go.
right now. Yeah.
Good.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, you're on Twitter. Pamela Hurts, if you're watching, hey, be her
I mean,
goddamn please.
listen. Nobody can make you wrong when you know you're right about certain things.
I'm not trying to
Doesn't
make
matter.
nobody wrong. I'm
But
not
no,
trying to
no.
make
Listen,
anybody.
you saying Pamela Hurts. What is
Yeah.
Pamela? She his
Get
mother.
the message out.
I
Get the
guarantee
message
you.
out.
I guarantee you, she doesn't agree with that. I guarantee you, she doesn't agree with that. I haven't heard her curse Cilio out.
Okay.
I didn't even curse
Good.
Cilio out. I put words in there and put the exclamations in there. I didn't curse him out.
Okay.
So we're
Okay.
not gonna act
Good.
like all of a sudden because she's watching or somebody else watching, I'm gonna back down on what I'm saying and I know it's right. No, I'm not gonna do
Well,
that.
if anything, I'm backing down.
Like
I
I
said you
say,
should let her.
don't be proclaiming God this, God that, and then you're up there doing all that cursing. Stop all that, man. Get back to winning, playing your game. Yeah, yes,
Good.
sir.
Yeah. Good.
Hey, man. Yeah, it is. That's how we do it.
Yeah, it has been done.
That's how
It,
we do this,
it
yo.
has been done. We're 8-1, and the world is mad, and Billy 500, and Joey Shakes. Everybody's all discombobulated and
Everybody.
frustrated.
No, I heard everybody talking about, oh, we know it was gonna happen. We was bound to win, lose one. Seemed like they knew it was coming. Like I say, stop all that cursing. Get out there and start winning that game. Do some coaching. Yeah. And I'll be over here doing what I'm doing. Running my mouth and telling it like it is. Shalom,
Really?
shalom. See y'all later. See you when wanna be ya.
Peace.
We watching you all around